This is the plaintiff, Kayla Ross. She says the defendant knocked over her MacBook Pro computer into a puddle of water, then spilled her cup of water and it landed on top of her computer. The defendant picked up the computer, started shaking it, and got even more water inside the thing, ruining it. Now she's faced with an $800 bill to get the computer repaired. The defendant won't pay, and she's suing. This is the defendant, Naima Scotland. She says she didn't knock the plaintiff's computer over. It just fell off a chair into a puddle of water. The plaintiff stood there frozen like a deer in headlights, so she bent over to pick the thing up, and now suddenly she's to blame? Come on, man. She's accused of lapping it up.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Kayla Ross, you're suing, how do I pronounce your name?
Naima.
Naima Scotland for $800, a cost of a MacBook Pro repair that you say you're going to have to spend because according to you, she damaged your computer. Yes. All right, tell me what's going on.
On September 25th, Naima and I went to a transfer student workshop at my college. And at the workshop, they were serving pizza and there was also drinks. I came in, I took my coat off, I took my bag off, I put it on a chair. Naima did the same. She took her coat off and her bag and put it on top of my stuff on the chair. I asked her to move her bag and her coat and suggested that she put it on the floor. She told me that putting her bag on the floor would be bad luck, so she didn't remove her stuff. I then went and I got a slice of pizza and I got a cup of water.
I'm sorry, why did you want her to remove her stuff off of your stuff?
It was a small chair.
So why didn't you just remove your stuff?
My stuff was on bottom and it was a small chair. Okay. So I just figured that either she would find another place to move it.
But if it's, I don't know, I'm kind of trying to put myself, did that conversation happen?
No.
Right. You know, if I go with a friend to an event and I put something on a chair because I don't want to carry it, and she puts her stuff on the chair, I wouldn't lay a bigger claim to the chair and have this long protracted discussion with them about you need to move your stuff to a different chair. And were there different chairs for her to move her stuff onto?
There was other people sitting in chairs.
So there were no different chairs for her to put her stuff onto. And I would just move my stuff over and she'd have room too. I don't quite...
I personally don't like touching other people's stuff only because in the past I've had incidents where
You say the conversation never happened. You both just dropped your stuff and went to go get pizza.
No, it didn't.
Right, so what happens?
It didn't happen. So I went and I got my pizza and a cup of water. She went, she got pizza and a cup of water. I sat down. There was a person that was hosting the whole event. So my focus was on her. During that, Naima's foot or something happened where she knocked her cup of water onto the floor. I said, can you clean it up? Because this is the second time I've had to ask her to do something. She said, oh, I'll get it later, like brushed the whole thing off. So I continued.
Where did the water fall?
It was to the right of me.
And that was where in relationship to your laptop?
My laptop was on the chair.
Was your laptop inside of a bag?
Yes. It was inside of a black bag, which is my bag.
Inside of a protective bag?
Not in
a laptop case or what?
It wasn't in its case at the time, but my laptop was inside because I had packed it up inside of the bag.
Inside of what bag?
My black bag, my purse.
Like a purse?
Yes.
What's the bag made of?
It's a leather material.
Okay. Do you have the purse? You don't have the purse?
I don't have the purse with me.
All right, so go ahead.
Okay, so she began talking, the person who was hosting the event, and I was eating my pizza. There was still water on the floor. I heard this big bang. Everyone's like, oh. I turn and I see my laptop in the puddle of water that she didn't clean up.
But how is it not your whole purse that's in the puddle of water if your laptop is in the purse?
I'm guessing that her stuff that was on top of mine, the weight of all the items together had pushed my bag. Because my bag.
I'm sorry, what fell into the puddle? Just the laptop?
Yes, just the laptop.
How did the laptop magically get out of the purse?
I'm guessing because there was weight on top, having her coat and her bag, which I found out later she also had her laptop.
That would only keep it more secure and snug as a bug in a rug. Your laptop wasn't just loose on top of the purse?
No, it was inside the purse. It was inside the purse. My bag was there, my coat on top, her bag, her coat on top.
So how did the laptop move?
I presume that it was the weight or it was Naima who knocked it down when she went for one of her items, because I was focused on the host hosting the questions.
Who's the person with you? Is moral support or a witness?
This is a witness.
What is she a witness to?
She saw when Naima went for my laptop, she also had a cup of water on her hand. So the water that she had went over to pick up my laptop with spilled on top of it. And everyone saw her brushing the water off and shaking my MacBook off, thinking that would help.
What happened?
I heard.
Who are you, by the way?
I am Claudia.
And
I am a student at the same college that the event happened.
What college is this?
Lehman College.
Okay.
I was to the left of them. They were on the road that was in the middle of the room. I was on the left side. I heard the noise that something fell. I looked over. I saw that it was a Mac that was on the floor and was being picked up by a girl that just like carelessly passed it over, and she was brushing something off of it as she was passing it to the person next to her. And I saw the empty plastic transparent cup on the floor.
All right, you tell me your side. What happened?
Okay. First of all, Kayla's laptop.
You walk in, and what happened?
We walked in to the event.
Were you two going together, or you just?
Yeah, we went together. We went together.
Were you friends before this?
We were acquaintances. We met through a mutual person. So
Okay, you weren't close though.
Yeah, no, we weren't
Okay.
close. So we went to the event, and upon entering the building, first of all, we have to take out our IDs. Now, Kayla's bag was not suitable for a Mac at all.
And not what?
Anyway, it wasn't suitable for a Mac, for a computer, period, to be in there. So she had to dig through the bag to get to her wallet to take out the ID. She never placed the Mac back in her book, in her bag at all. It was left as soon as we sat down. She left her bag and then her computer. And then I placed my things on the side.
Wait, stop. What are you saying? That on
She
the
never
chair, she put her bag
and the
she
computer
put the
on
computer
top.
on top of it?
On top of the bag.
And then what? And then you put
I
your stuff
my
on top
stuff
of the loose computer?
to the side of it. And then when I came back, it wasn't in that order anymore. Her stuff was on top of my stuff at this point. And I just
So
sat
what's
down.
on the tippy top? The computer?
Her computer.
Is
And
on
in
top
my
of
bag.
so
On
your
top of
bag,
my
her
soft
bag,
leather
and
bag.
the computer's on top loose.
Yes. And so I pretty much, after I sat down, she wasn't paying any mind to the computer or to what, I don't know what she was looking at, but whatever. Next minute, I hear the loud bang as well. And everyone's like, oh, what was that? What was that? Searching the room. I turned around, looked down, the computer's there on the floor. I realized that my cup of water was on the floor because I had placed it on the floor near the chair to the left of me. And so I immediately rushed to pick it up. I started wiping it off. I'm like, oh,
Wait,
it should
stop.
be okay.
Had you already spilled your water?
No, I never spilled my water. My water was full, a full
So
cup
why
of
do you
water on
pick
the
up
floor.
what? You got thirsty?
No,
Why
no,
would
no.
you pick
I
up your
picked
cup
her-
at a moment like that?
No, I didn't pick up her cup. I picked up the laptop.
No, but why would you pick up your cup?
Afterwards, that was when I was cleaning it up already. My cup was on the floor already. Once
Your
I got
cup was on the floor upright or had been spilled?
It was upright. It was a filled.
Why would you put a cup of water on the floor instead of the table? There's no
there was
table?
no table there. There was no table. So I placed it on the floor right next to the chair, next to me.
Then the
on
computer
floor.
falls.
The computer falls on top
Do
of it.
we know how the computer falls?
No, I didn't touch the chair, didn't go next to it or anything. I was
The computer falls, and according to you, what? It falls on your water?
It fell on top of the water. The cup was completely crushed. I'm like, how did the cup end up crushed if I did this and I levitated somehow the cup on top and then I crushed it up? Like, it didn't make any sense to me that she was like blaming me for something that I didn't do.
Okay, so it falls and it falls on top of the
Falls
cup
on
of
top
water.
of the water. Her soda actually was on the floor too, so it was knocked over as well.
Was your soda on the floor too?
It was not
On the floor,
in
yes or no?
Yes, it was.
Okay, go on.
So her cup was on the floor as well. As soon as I picked it up and started wiping it off, I'm like, it should be fine. There was a female in front of me. She turned around, she said, oh, just turn it off. It should be fine. And I'm like, yeah, it should be fine. Wiped it off, handed it to her. And then I hear her mumbling like something under her breath. And I'm like, what? Okay. Then I hear something about payment. So I'm like, okay. At the moment, she expected me to react to her yelling and screaming and jumping up and disputing what she's saying. But I'm like, I felt it was inappropriate for the event where we were at. So once we leave the event, nothing was spoken about the computer at all. She didn't mention anything about it. And I was just like,
Did you leave together?
yeah, we left together. I walked her back to the same building where she had to go to work at the computer lab. And I was like, it should be fine. Left. 2 hours later, she's texting me like, oh, it doesn't turn on. But while we were there and the girl said, just turn it off, she's doing this. oh, turn it on and off, turn it on and off. So to my understanding, it was fine. So I'm like, okay.
But then why is it all of a sudden not fine?
Exactly. I don't know what she was doing when I left her and she got to the computer lab.
You think it broke in the meantime and she's trying to blame you?
Yes, pretty much.
I think it broke. I just question how it broke.
Yeah.
But so why would she have to pay for it? Because it was her puddle of water that you say she had already spilled the puddle of water and left it there.
Yes.
And then her purse was on yours and somehow that made a heavy computer levitate into the air and fall down. I don't know how that could happen. If your computer was, you think I don't know what happened? I have 3 teenage daughters. I know exactly how you were holding your computer, how you put it on the thing. People forget how fragile this stuff is. I have daughters who walk around with their iPhones in their back of their jeans. You know how often their phone cases get used? It makes their butt look big. Okay, so all of a sudden, every time I catch a phone without a cover, I take the phone away for a few days. I'm going to do it to my husband too. You know.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So is the defendant responsible for buying the plaintiff a new computer because she spilled water on the floor?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
Because she should have had her computer, properly in the case in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, how could it have fallen like this and gotten damaged if it was properly in the case?
It couldn't have.
It couldn't have. I mean, but whether it was in the case or not, it wouldn't have been damaged by water if the water wasn't on the floor, right?
Totally, yeah.
So is the defendant responsible for buying her new computer? Say no, please.
No.
Okay, perfect answer. Going inside the courtroom.
So I don't know how you could, how the story you were telling me about how the computer's safely inside the leather bag, but somehow comes out just not immediately, but just like magically from weight. It just moves to the side and comes down. It couldn't have happened that way.
I actually have a text that shows that she said she didn't pick up the water. And
let me see.
The first time. Okay. And her second cup, she spilled her water first, and then she spilled her water again, her new cup, on top of my computer.
I can only speculate from 2 things. You're either knocked my bag down purposely.
Exactly.
But
like she was going from one thing to the next.
Either she had her cup or her pizza on the chair and then went to get something, and then
that would not be purposely. That would be an accident. Either you knocked my bag down purposely, which that's a crazy accusation, or went to grab your cup or slice at the same time, causing my bag to fall down. So you answer, so I knocked your bag down purposely. For what reason? Let me guess the reason you might have. Is it because I'm hating? LOL, you really sound crazy. Neither of the 2 happened. By the way, I was talking to the boy and did not go to pick up the water at all, which is reason why I said I did not knock it over, because I did not even go to touch anything on the chair or near the chair. Mm-hmm. What did you mean?
Is that I didn't go pick up the water, because she originally was saying that I went and was reaching. Maybe I went to go get the water to drink it. And I'm like, that's not what I was doing. I wasn't going to pick up the water at all.
Okay, so you're
like
saying that means pick up my intact cup that hasn't spilled.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. My intact cup.
Okay, that's plausible too. You got anything else?
On October 3rd, when I spoke to Naima for the second time, I came to her with the sheet of the diagnostic and what could she do. She later on told me that she felt bad because the water on the floor was her responsibility and she didn't clean it up. So that's why she's feeling a little bit.
Did you say that?
I did not.
Do you have that in a text?
I said to her.
Yes or no? Do you have that in a text?
I said to her.
No. And what did you say to
I said to her that I felt bad because I placed a cup of water on the floor. And that was it. I'm like, that's the only thing that I feel bad about.
Can I ask you,
maybe I could have.
Let's talk about the second part. Can I talk to you again? I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. What did you say when you heard the thud? Take it from there again. You turned around and you saw a girl, which turns out to be this girl. I take it.
I turned my head. She's picking it up carelessly. So I'm like,
what does carelessly mean? Show me how. Somebody give her a computer so I can see what picking it up carelessly means. Here's a book. Lord help us. Pretend the book is a computer. Go ahead. Show me what carelessly means.
Well, she's picking it up like just passing it to her like that. Like,
how else can you possibly pick up something and pass it?
No, that's the sense I got. So I really thought that it was her, Naima's computer, because, I thought she was picking it like she owned it, and then she was just brushing it past like nothing happened. And everybody in the room was like, oh, that's a match.
So she had one hand on the computer and the other hand like this?
Yeah. while passing it, because
With
there was
napkins.
water and I saw the cup
Where did you see the cup?
on the floor.
Okay, so how did she spill
empty.
another cup of water on it when she had it in her hands?
This was
She
her
has a
second
third
cup.
hand.
Exactly.
I want
Exactly.
to also be clear that she had 2 cups. She spilled her cup as soon as she came.
Can you tell me how she has a third hand to spill water on the computer while it's in her hand?
No, she had her first cup spilled on the floor. She had a second cup. The big boom happened. We all looked. She goes to get it.
What's in your hand right now?
This is the cup.
Okay, you know that's not what your witness said. That's why I gave your witness the book, so I can have her do exactly what she says she saw happen. My verdict's in the, you can't prove your case. I'm sorry about your computer, but you cannot prove your case. Proof again that your computer should be in an impact-resistant case. The truth of the matter is that your computer, which was not in a case, fell on top of where she had her water cup. And that's why you feel she's responsible, and that's not sufficient. Verdict to the defendant.
All right, ladies, hold on right there, please.
So the plaintiff, unable to prove her case, steps out here on the losing end of this decision. What's making you smile?
Well, the fact that I forgave her a long time ago for what she did to my computer, it's just a little sad that she would come to court and completely lie about what happened. You know, when she even apologized to me that she felt bad that her water spilled on the floor and she didn't clean it up. So I guess I didn't have enough to prove the case, but you know, I could go home with the gratifying feeling that I told the truth and someone else didn't. So I'm
All right.
okay.
Okay. Around the corner documents wait for you there. And so there's the defendant here. You hear what she's saying here. I suppose you see it differently.
Yeah, she's the liar here. She obviously has no evidence. I couldn't even show, the judge where she kept saying that she has witnesses in all this video. It's like, you have this, but you don't. Like, you're the liar
Well,
here.
if you didn't do it, why was she trying to pin it on you then?
Because she doesn't have the money to pay for herself. And I knew that already. Like, she just wants me to pay for it, pretty much. She doesn't
Okay.
have the money.
Think, Harvey?
Liar.
I mean, so here's the thing. Even if the defendant was negligent for putting water in the floor, the accident was preventable by securing the computer, and the computer wasn't secured clearly, so the plaintiff loses. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.